Hello, 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 Wings of Wisdom, listening audience, and Virginia's virtual viewers. We are so excited today that we have Miss Vedra Moon. She is our expert on this episode, and we are going to dive deep on the myths in the insurance industry. So I just want you, Vedra, to introduce yourself to Virginia's virtual viewers and Wings of Wisdom listening audience, why you embrace this industry, and how you can be of value for those individuals who are seeking your expertise.
Hi, everyone. I am Vedra Moon. I live in beautiful Charleston, South Carolina, and I am also known as the safety net builder. What led me to the insurance industry is because I believe in the importance of financial education, and knowing the different insurance products that are available to you is a great tool to use in helping you build that safety net and also helping you to protect your ability to earn an income. So happy to be here.
And we are happy to have you here. So I just have this several questions for you. Wanted to know initially, how does the insurance industry contribute to building a financial safety net?
Well, a common myth, like a lot of people believe that, or under the impression that life insurance is just for paying for funeral expenses when there's a death in the family. But with a lot of insurance policies, as far as building a safety net, it does allow you to cash out from your insurance policy in the event of unforeseen medical expenses. And you can also use life insurance to pay off for college debt. So it is a great tool to have, uh, just to have that access to the extra funds in unforeseen circumstances.
Okay, and some people believe that it's strictly just for the death benefit, but there's a life living benefits as well, correct?
Oh, absolutely. Like if you were to be hospitalized for a while, you could cash out part of the policy to help cover medical expenses. If you were to become disabled, you do also have the option to cash out the policy just to help cover your living expenses, because it's, I believe, about by the age 65, up to about a quarter of the population is disabled. So having access to life insurance policy can also help you cover living expenses in the event you are disabled and no longer able to work.
Okay, are there specific steps that you take when creating a personalized insurance strategy for an individual?
Well, my experience has been like usually younger couples who are just starting out getting married, they tend to apply for term insurance coverage. So with term, it covers you for a specific period of time, and the monthly premiums tend to be more affordable, and the coverage is a lot higher, up to $500,000. So usually when somebody gets coverage for that high amount, it's usually to pay off a mortgage if in the event of the death of a spouse, and also just to help cover off some debt. But if somebody is not too concerned about paying off debt and just more focused on paying off funeral expenses, then they tend to get whole life coverage, which has a lower coverage amount, uh,
Mhm.
typically up to about $40,000.
Okay, so how can you kind of shift the perspective of those individuals who say the premium is costly so that they will see the value for building that safety net for the future?
Well, unfortunately, it seems that a lot of times when people think that the premium is too high, they don't appreciate the value of insurance until it is too late. When there's a death in the family and there's that loss of income and just all these expenses that pile up. So regardless of how expensive life insurance is, it is about making that sacrifice because even if all you can afford is $10,000 in whole life coverage, it's better to have a little than nothing at all. So oftentimes I advise my clients if they feel that premium is too high, they can start off with getting whatever they can afford at the time. And they do have the option to add more coverage at a later date.
Yes, and how are there like some other ways that you help your clients save, like just specifically on like funeral, burial expenses?
Well, with burial expenses, like one of the life insurance companies that I am partnered with, they also provide a like an advisor when the time comes to make the final arrangements. So instead of having the family directly contact funeral homes to do all the shopping, because planning a funeral, it is already an emotional time. So having somebody else outside of the family make that arrangements, it alleviates the family from that burden. And what a lot of people aren't aware of that is that life insurance funeral homes, they tend to base their prices sometimes off of a person's emotions. And if you are busy planning a loved one's funeral, you may not be in a emotional state of mind to make the best decisions available. And with the funeral advisors, they also do some shopping around to do some price comparison. Whereas if you were the one planning a funeral for your family, you may not be like, you may not even be willing or even consider shopping around to find the best price available. And having a third unbiased party makes it so much easier because the funeral homes, the funeral homes, they're not going to be able to basically manipulate your emotions because a lot of us, we tend to make decisions based off of our emotions.
Yes, I have a one of my audience asking, what's the major difference versus term and whole life? I know term is a period of time, but is there any other major difference between the two?
Well, typically with term, it will cover you up to about 20 or 25 years. There are many different term products available, and the monthly premiums tend to be a lot more affordable. And at the end of the term, the insurance, if you happen to outlive your term coverage, the life insurance company, they will not pay out. And it also doesn't build up any cash value. Whereas with whole life, as the name implies, you are covered for your whole life. It builds up cash value over time. And you do have the option to borrow funds from that policy. And it definitely will pay out. So I usually advise my clients to go with whole life over term. But as I mentioned, if somebody's more concerned with paying off a mortgage, they may opt for term coverage instead, because with term coverage, it does allow you to get a higher coverage amount for a more affordable amount, a more affordable monthly premium.
Yes, I know that there's a term, or I should say an acronym, where they say buy term and invest the difference. Because I know there's different pillars in this safety net, your individual retirement account and also a brokerage account, or just your
Yes.
company's retirement and insurance. But all these pillars need to be in place to actually have that safety net. So when you have your client, you basically focus more on educating them so that to help them make that decision and how much coverage that they would actually need.
Yes. And if somebody is set on getting term, then I do also advise them to possibly also get whole life coverage, because even though there is no medical exam to get any sort of life insurance, the monthly premiums, it is based off of your age and health. So if you are in your 30s and you're getting term coverage, whole life coverage, the monthly premium is a lot more affordable in your 30s compared to if you were to opt to get it later in life in your 60s. And you don't know what your health will be like in your 60s. So the coverage will be based off of your age and health whenever you opt to get the whole life coverage.
Yes, and I have one of my viewers saying pre-planning and prepaying for funeral arrangements can save money by making payments on present costs versus future costs, and that is true, correct?
Yes, pre planning definitely does help also.
Yes. Well, listening audience, I just want you to know Wings of Wisdom is built on biblical principles. And in Hebrew 9:27, it states, it is once appointed for man to die. And after that, we're in the master's hands. So, not when, not if I should say, but when that happens, to have a safety net in place is actually key. So you want to have that in place so that if you need information and education prior to making your decision, we have an expert on Wings of Wisdom that can give you the education around that so that you could be prepared in the future when the unforeseen incidents and situations take place, that you are prepared for anything that may take place. So Vedra, do you have any like other like golden tips for those individuals? They're sitting on the fence, they've been procrastinating, they know they should do this, they know they should put something in place, but they just kind of need that nudge because they really believe like, is it really worth it? You know, a lot of times I see individuals now, when it happens, I see more and more GoFundMe accounts going out when you can actually just have something small in place.
Um, I mean, absolutely. Like having a little insurance is better than having nothing at all. And you're never too young to consider getting life insurance. COVID was definitely like a lesson to us all. Like death doesn't discriminate. And another reason that some people sometimes procrastinate is because they already have coverage through their job. But something to keep in mind is if you have life insurance coverage through your job, it's like driving a company car. You may not have the option to take that coverage with you if you were to lose that job. So it does help to consider having outside coverage that's not linked to your job.
Yes, matter of fact, that's actually what happened to me in 2020 when I decided to leave the airline industry. You know, I have coverage with, you know, with my package for health, but my life insurance was tied to a group insurance. So when I exit the airlines, I was learning all of this and I put individual insurance in place. And while I was doing that, I was learning the knowledge about insurance. So I went and got my life license, got my health license, but they've been on simmer. So I'm turning up the flames on it because now I'm getting insight from the expert. So I'm grateful for your advice today. So if there's any last golden nugget you want to drop for the audience, you can do that. But I know here I have scrolling the information where they can reach you at 843-751-9686. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Yes. Is there any other method that they could contact you if they wanted to reach out for a little more information?
Well, they can definitely connect with me directly on Facebook, and my name on Facebook is Vedra Moon, so nothing else to that. So they can just connect with me directly on Facebook as well.
Okay, Wings of Wisdom, listening audience, and Virginia's virtual viewers, I am so excited to have our expert on. We wanted to just drop a few golden nuggets for you. And I said that Hebrews 9:27, it's appointed once for man to die. So it's not if, it's when. So therefore, in Matthew 6:33, it states also, seek the kingdom of God first and his righteousness. And once you do that, all these things will be added unto you. But you need to prepare. You need to pay it forward for your future self, to have these pillars in place so that when the unforeseen take place, you will be equipped to move in the direction that you need to move and build that safety net. And we have a safety net builder expert here for you to consult with. And she can advise you to go in the right direction. So, ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, now is the time to share on your electronic toys if this information was of value to you. And thank you once again, Miss Vedra Moon, for just coming on Wings of Wisdom for just a few moments to drop these golden nuggets. We certainly appreciate you.
Well, thank you. This has been fun.
You're welcome. Have a wonderful Wednesday.
Thank you. You too.